Hi, my name is Alan Amrod, and I'm the Chief Cloud Officer for Extreme Networks. Today in this presentation, I'm going to go over the fact that not all cloud architectures and applications are created equal. And I want to stress the word fact, because cloud architectures especially are going to be new to many out there. Although you view the cloud architectures through applications, cloud architectures is incredibly important for you to understand and ask some critical questions of any vendor that may be delivering a cloud application that you'll be using in the future. Today, I'm going to cover 10 questions. These are 10 very generic questions, but they're good, solid business as well as technical questions that you should ask, again, of any cloud provider that you're looking to get a cloud application from and thus utilize their cloud architecture. I also want to stress again, the cloud architecture is probably 50% of the value that you'll actually be purchasing from the cloud provider. Just like in Microsoft Office, you maybe use 10 or 20% of the features. That'll be the same of any cloud application that you choose. But everything you do will move through the cloud architecture. And that makes it incredibly important that you ask these questions so you know you get the best value and the best architecture possible. Hosting. It's very, very important that you ask your cloud provider or your cloud application provider, what are the hosting options? They should always answer to you that the top 3 hosting providers are supported at a minimum. And that's Amazon, that's Google, and that's Microsoft Azure. Of course, there could be other ones in there, but at least make sure the top 3 applicable to your region are supported. You never want to have a dependency on a single cloud hosting architecture because it inhibits innovation and velocity. If somebody is locked into an Amazon, if they're locked into a Google, if they're locked into a Microsoft Azure, that means your innovation is going to dramatically slow down because they'll be using their proprietary tools. A global footprint, very important. Even though you might be a small business in the Midwest of the United States or somewhere in the countryside of Germany, it's important that that your cloud application, your cloud architecture potentially has a global footprint. You should ask that question because having that global footprint, being able to support multiple cloud hosting providers means that they are operationally efficient and that you could be assured of continuity of the application that you get from the cloud. Zero downtime. I've been at this for about 30 years. I remember when you were lucky to get 3 nines, then 4 nines in the enterprise, and then suddenly people stopped counting the nines. You should, for any cloud architecture and cloud application, make sure that they have achieved fully audited continuous operation. That means zero downtime. If you're paying for a subscription to a cloud for a cloud application hosted by a cloud architecture, there should be zero downtime. Or they should, quite frankly, credit you some money back, but make sure that they have fully audited zero downtime. It's very, very important. And if they have fully audited zero downtime, it means that they have achieved a level of operational efficiency. That means you have business continuity 7/24, 365. Proprietary technology. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this slide. Cloud is a race. We're about 10 years into that race, but really only about 5 years where the race has really picked up velocity. It's important that you ask the question, is there any proprietary technology in the cloud architecture? Cloud architecture should always have no proprietary technology. If they have any proprietary technology, you're locked in. And if you're locked in, no matter what, your costs are going to go up, your flexibility is going to go down, your choice is going to be limited. You want no proprietary technology in the cloud architecture itself because cloud reinvents itself every single year, and you're going to see it reinvent itself probably every single year for another 10 to 15 years. We're only about 5 years into a 20-year race. We're only about 40% adoption for the major enterprises, maybe the enterprises on a global basis right now. There's a long way to go, and you're going to see clouds reinvent themselves, and you don't want any proprietary technology in the architecture. There may be some proprietary technology in the application, but not in the architecture itself. Microservices. Microservices is the foundational element of all cloud applications and all cloud architectures. You should make sure by asking the question, is it microservices based? There should be an automatic answer that it's microservices based. If they say they emulate or simulate microservices, you should run because that means they're doing everything they possibly can to avoid learning how to do microservices based development, and microservices are very, very efficient for any cloud based application. Frequent updates. Everything in the cloud is a subscription. If it's a subscription, you should expect continuous value for the full term of that subscription. It means at a bare minimum, they should update you monthly with new capabilities, new features, new streamlined workflows, whatever the case may be. There should be major and minor updates every month. For those cloud applications and architectures that can achieve faster, maybe weekly or biweekly, that's a good thing. If you're with a company for 5 years and you have a subscription for 5 years, you should get new value every single month. It's very important. If they say they can only update 2 or 3 times a year or once or twice a year, you should run because they are not truly a cloud architecture or cloud-based application. Data duration options. Data is extremely valuable, and you should have choice whether what the data duration is. You may start wanting something as little as 30 days. Then you may want to have a data duration of 90 days. Then you may want to have a data duration of unlimited. Data over time is the fuel of machine learning and the energy for artificial intelligence. You may be new to those concepts, new to those technologies. So you should have the option to change your data duration, extend your data duration, because the more data over time makes those capabilities more accurate for you. Currently, almost everybody does 30 days. The most popular choice is 90 days, but we're seeing increasingly take up where people want unlimited data. No different than you want unlimited data on your phone. You're going to want unlimited data in your cloud. And that's not if, but when almost everyone will default to unlimited data like we have in most of our phones around the world. Data ownership. Very, very important that you ask your cloud provider who owns the data. You should always own the data. Sole ownership by the subscriber and license holder of the data is an absolute must. And the data generated, either by the network or the application, should always be yours. And at any time, you should be able to export that data because it is your data. If the cloud provider or the cloud application manufacturer or developer that you're dealing with isn't willing to acknowledge that you own the data and give you your data, you should run. It's very important. And you will find not all architectures are able to export that data. And it's important that you ask that question because you own the data. It's very, very valuable. Data durability. So this one is a funny term because almost everybody will assume that whatever you put in the cloud will always be in the cloud for as long as it's there. The reality of it is not all architectures, as titled in this presentation, are created equal. You want the cloud provider, the cloud application, cloud architecture that you're purchasing to be able to commit to you at least 11 nines of data durability. What 11 nines equates to is if I have 10,000 data objects and I read and write those objects continuously for the next 10 million years, I will only lose one object. You have to equate data and a data object like money in the bank. If you lose 1 penny every 10 million years from your bank account, you're probably not going to change banks. If you lose one data object every 10 million years from your cloud provider, you're probably not going to change your cloud provider by then. But data durability is key because data is gold in the new cloud world. And one of the reasons you would go to the cloud is so that you can get and have data-driven decisions. So you can make absolutely sure that that you have the data durability that's necessary to support that. certified for security. So you're going to find a lot of folks will dance around this question. Your cloud architecture, your cloud application has to have third party auditing for things like continuous operation, for things like the data durability, and also for the data security. You should not allow your cloud provider, your cloud architecture, your cloud application to be self-audited. No different than you expect the business books for your enterprise to be audited by a third party. You should expect these things to be audited by a third party. And they should be able to provide you the evidence of the data durability from a third party, the continuous operation of a third party, and they should comply with industry best security practices like ISO or like SOX, and they should be able to give you the certifications that they are certified. Don't let the cloud application provider tell you, well, I host in Amazon. Amazon is ISO certified. That's Amazon certification. It's not transferable to the cloud application. The cloud application and the cloud architecture that's hosted in Amazon has to be ISO certified. So it's absolutely crucial that you make sure that they have some kind of ISO or SOC certification and don't rely on an Amazon or a Google or an Azure for their certification. With that being said, I think I'm coming up to the end of the presentation, but I wanted to just do a very, very quick review. All of these questions that you've seen are very, very generic questions. They're not meant to make you move in any particular direction to any particular provider. They are to help you make sure that the provider gives you the value and gives you the choice, gives you the flexibility, and gives you the security that you need. You're going to be paying a subscription, either a large sum of money over several years for any cloud application and cloud architecture that you bring into your enterprise. You want to ask at least these 10 questions as a matter of due diligence to make sure that you're getting all of those things and you're doing the right thing for your business. With that being said, I want to thank you for your time and attention today. Hopefully this is a relatively short presentation. I'm still not over my pathological fear of doing presentations, but hopefully I got to the point quickly and you'll find that these questions are useful for you moving forward. Thank you.